I imagine the kind of ultimate signal that this was a real job and it did make a good contribution, not just to your life but to lots of people's lives, is the fact that you did get an OBE for it. Can you tell us a bit about that? Who gave it to you? Where was it? What did it mean to you? Like,
Yes, well, I can tell you that the OBE was a great honour. So it was given to be my Prince Charles, then now King Charles himself. Um, it was given to me for contribution to the British economy, which is quite nice. I think partly because I was one of the driving forces behind the video games tax relief, so the video games tax breaks, which stopped our industry in the UK. Our industry had been declining. There was a brain drain to Canada and other places. They offered tax breaks. Similar to the tax breaks for film and TV production, and I campaigned over a decade through my chairmanship of Tiger, which is one of the games industry development bodies, representative bodies, managed to campaign for video games industry tax rebate, which is roughly 20% of the budget comes back to creators, gives them some skin in the game, allows people to invest with a little less risk. I think it was possibly to do with that. Anyway, so you have to get suited and booted, and you have to go to Buckingham Palace to get it. And I have to say, I have received lances in the moat of the Tower of London on frequent occasions. I have fought in mock combat, which has got a little bit overheated and become, whilst not real combat, it's become pretty close to real combat. And I've always been slightly nervous about these things, but you get used to it, the adrenaline. But I have to say, waiting in the queue to get your gong is very nerve-wracking, and of course very special for me because of the whole pageantry and the whole heraldry and the whole knightly kind of connotations around it. And all the staff, obviously it's their job. They're very polite. They ask you your name several times to check it's you. They tell you things like, when it's your turn, when you hear the beginning of your last name, you're supposed to walk forwards. You've got to wait till the other person comes down the steps, and it's all very carefully coordinated. But of course, you don't get any practice. You just get told. And they're all standing there with these white gloves on, and they even say to you, if you forget your name, well, you'll get a small shove in the back, so we'll push you forward. So they're obviously kind of got all areas covered. They're all mostly ex-military, so they're very well organised and very kind, but they want to get through it. This is there's a lot of people who are totally incredibly nervous. So you have to walk there, you have to turn right angles, and you have to go up the step. And then you shake hands, and you have a brief conversation. I told King Charles that he asked a little bit about what I did, and I said computer games and things, and he asked me about hobbies, and I said I train horses and I joust, and I think he was genuinely taken aback when somebody says they joust, and he went, "Joust? Good grief!" Very, very polite. And then when they shake your hand, you're supposed to you have to back down the steps. Now, I was terrified about backing down steps. I don't know whether everybody's done it, but it's really quite hard. And you've got a big audience of friends and family as well. And I was just thinking, please don't fall over on your arse. This would be embarrassing. And this is a special occasion. And, you back carefully, and then you turn and then you go round and you collect your actual award. And there's a moment where you're terribly excited. You walk around the corner and there's a big stack of awards there, because obviously they're giving lots of people awards, and it's not exactly deflating, but it's kind of, you realise there's a stack of them that other people are getting it too. So it's still wonderful, and then you do the photographs outside. But it was it was a very special experience. Going to Buckingham Palace, a genuine palace, meeting genuine royalty was a great experience, but very nerve-wracking.
It must happen. Law of averages. If you tell us, hundreds of people over a course of years to back down this little flight of stairs, it must happen occasionally that someone does stack it there.
Well, I think it does go a little bit wrong occasionally. There was an old lady a few goes before me. There was an old lady who had to be helped up the steps to receive her award, and she had a long chat with His Royal Highness, and that was lovely to see. And then the person next kind of went too early. So they kind of got grabbed and held a little. They got grabbed and held back while the little old lady had to sort of had to be helped down the steps and helped off. So yes, that was a bit of a moment there. But they were all on it, and I'm told that the Gurkha guards, they do have guardsmen behind. Are all heavily armed, so I was desperately hoping that nobody tripped and was going to get kind of chopped by a kukri or something. But they are genuine guards. You know, they take their job very seriously. So it's a combination of pomp and ceremony, but it's also security. There's high security there as well.
Amazing. Sounds like a hell of a day.